What if I told you the key to transforming your life isn't a big leap, but small, consistent steps? Whether it's eating healthier, staying active, or learning something new, forming habits can be life-changing, but let's face it, sticking to them is tough. Most of us have started new routines excitedly, only to give up a week later. So, how do you make habits that last? In today's video, we'll uncover the secrets behind forming new habits that stick. And trust me, these tips will redefine how you approach change. We've all been there, the excitement of a fresh start. Maybe it's a New Year's resolution or a moment of inspiration, deciding to exercise more, eat better, or learn a new skill. Motivation drives us for the first few days, and we feel unstoppable. Then life happens. Motivation fades, old routines creep back in, and that exciting new habit becomes a distant memory. Why does this happen? The problem isn't the intention, it's the method. Forming habits requires consistency and structure, but our modern lives are filled with distractions, stress, and competing priorities that derail even the best plans. According to a study by the University College London, it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, not the 21 days we often hear about. This longer time frame highlights why so many give up. The road to creating lasting change is longer than expected, and the bumps along the way, like setbacks or lack of immediate results, make quitting easy. A classic real-life example is fitness. Many people join gyms at the start of the year, motivated to get in shape. For the first week, the gym is packed with new members. But by mid-February, attendance drops significantly. Why? The initial enthusiasm isn't enough to create a sustainable habit. The focus often shifts from long-term consistency to short-term results, leading to frustration when progress isn't immediate. The stakes are even higher when it comes to habits that impact health or productivity. Imagine someone trying to quit smoking or incorporate mindfulness practices to manage stress. Without the right strategies, they may struggle, reverting to old patterns because the habit-forming process feels overwhelming or unclear. Habits are also heavily influenced by our environment. In today's fast-paced world, constant notifications, digital distractions, and demanding schedules can derail our best efforts. For example, a person wanting to read every night might find themselves scrolling through their phone instead. These small disruptions make it challenging to stick to new routines, reinforcing the idea that change is too hard or impossible. Why is this topic so important today? Because our habits shape our lives. Good habits can lead to better health, improve relationships, and career growth, while bad habits often hold us back. As author James Clear puts it in his book Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. The problem isn't the ambition, it's the lack of a clear system to sustain it. Motivation alone isn't enough. It's fleeting and unreliable. Building habits requires understanding how behavior works, creating systems that support change, and learning how to overcome setbacks. This video is designed to help you do just that. We'll break down practical, science-backed strategies to help you form habits that truly stick, ensuring you can turn your goals into lasting routines. So, if you've ever struggled to maintain a habit or want to create meaningful change, stick around, this is for you. Let's face it, building new habits can feel like a daunting task. However, understanding the core principles behind habit formation can make the process not only manageable, but transformative. By starting small, understanding how habits work, and prioritizing consistency with some flexibility, anyone can create meaningful changes that last. Let's explore the psychology, science, and real-world applications of forming new habits. The foundation of successful habit formation lies in starting small. When goals are too ambitious or overwhelming, they often lead to frustration and burnout. Instead, breaking a goal into manageable steps increases the likelihood of success. This concept is supported by B.J. Fogg, a behavior scientist at Stanford University and author of Tiny Habits. Fogg emphasizes that making habits tiny, like doing one push-up or drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, builds momentum without feeling burdensome. His research shows that small, consistent actions are the building blocks of lasting habits. For example, consider someone who wants to start running. Instead of aiming to run 5 miles a day immediately, they could start by jogging for just 5 minutes. This tiny, achievable goal minimizes resistance and makes the habit feel doable. Over time, as the habit becomes ingrained, it naturally expands. Famous marathoner Haruki Murakami, in his memoir, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, describes how he began with short runs before gradually building to longer distances. Starting small allowed him to create a sustainable running habit that has lasted decades. Understanding the cue routine reward loop is essential for forming and maintaining new habits, a framework introduced by Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit. This concept explains how habits are developed through 3 interrelated components. The first component is the cue, which serves as a trigger that initiates the habit. This could manifest as a specific time of day, an emotion, or a particular location. Next comes the routine, which refers to the behavior or action that follows the cue. Finally, the reward is the positive reinforcement that helps solidify the habit over time. To illustrate this, consider someone wishing to establish a daily meditation practice. They might set their alarm 10 minutes earlier in the morning to serve as the cue, use that time to meditate as the routine, and then reward themselves with a cup of coffee afterwards. This reward provides a sense of satisfaction, reinforcing the behavior and increasing the likelihood that it will become a consistent habit. The cue routine reward loop is not merely a theoretical construct. It has a strong foundation in neuroscience. Research by Dr. Wendy Wood, a psychologist and researcher at the University of Southern California, reveals that habits function as shortcuts created by the brain to conserve effort and energy. By aligning new behaviors with existing cues, individuals can effectively hack their brain's natural inclination to follow established patterns. Consistency is the key to embedding habits into daily life. Repeating a habit in the same context, such as meditating every morning or exercising at the same time each day, helps the brain recognize and automate the behavior. However, while consistency is critical, it's also important to allow for flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and rigid expectations can lead to discouragement if something doesn't go as planned. Take the example of actor Will Smith, who adopted the habit of journaling as part of his self-improvement routine. While he aimed to journal daily, he allowed himself the flexibility to skip a day if his schedule was too hectic. This balance between consistency and adaptability prevented him from feeling overwhelmed or guilty, ensuring the habit remained sustainable over time. One of the most compelling portrayals of habit formation is found in the movie Groundhog Day. The protagonist, Phil Connors, is forced to live the same day repeatedly, allowing him to develop new habits like learning piano, helping others, and becoming a better person overall. This fictional example underscores the importance of repetition and the ability to adapt over time, turning even challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth. Similarly, James Clear's Atomic Habits emphasizes that success is the product of daily habits, not one-time actions. Clear's philosophy highlights the idea that small, consistent improvements compound over time, leading to significant transformations. As he puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. This quote encapsulates the importance of creating environments and systems that make habits easier to sustain. Take the first step today, and you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish over time. Forming new habits often requires more than motivation and willpower. It demands a supportive environment that encourages consistency and removes obstacles. By optimizing physical spaces, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and leveraging practical tools, you can create an environment that works with you, not against you. Let's explore how to build such an environment and how it can be the secret weapon for habit success. One of the first steps in creating a supportive environment is decluttering and reorganizing. A messy, chaotic space can make it harder to focus and maintain new habits. Research by Dr. Sherry Borg-Carter, a psychologist specializing in productivity, has shown that cluttered environments increase stress levels and reduce mental clarity, making it more difficult to stick to goals. On the other hand, clean, organized spaces promote a sense of control and focus. Imagine that you're trying to build a habit of working out at home, dedicating a specific area to exercise, complete with a yoga mat, dumbbells and resistance bands to make the routine more convenient and appealing. If the habit involves healthy eating, reorganizing your pantry to place healthy snacks and ingredients at eye level ensures they're the easiest option to grab. A real-life example comes from Marie Kondo, whose decluttering philosophy has inspired millions. By encouraging individuals to only keep items that spark joy, she not only transforms physical spaces, but also creates mental space for focus and growth. Similarly, optimizing your environment for new habits involves removing distractions and ensuring everything you need is easily accessible. Environment isn't just about physical spaces, it's also about the people you surround yourself with. Studies show that our behaviors are heavily influenced by the people we interact with regularly. A study conducted by Dr. Nicholas Christakis, a sociologist at Yale University, revealed that behaviors like exercise, eating habits, and even happiness are contagious within social networks. So, if you're trying to adopt a habit like reading daily, spending time with friends or colleagues who also value reading can motivate you to stick to the habit. On the flip side, minimizing exposure to influences that undermine your efforts, such as peers who dismiss your goals, helps reduce the risk of falling back into old patterns. Take a look at entrepreneur Elon Musk, who surrounds himself with a team of driven, innovative thinkers. Musk has spoken about how his environment, both physical and social, has been critical to fostering creativity, discipline, and a relentless work ethic. Whether building rockets or cars, Musk's environment has supported his ambitious habits and goals. Another powerful way to create a supportive environment is by using visual cues and reminders to keep your goals front and center. Visual cues act as triggers for habits, making it easier to remember and execute them. For instance, placing a water bottle on your desk can remind you to drink water throughout the day, or keeping a journal on your bedside table can prompt you to write down your thoughts before bed. Statistics further support the importance of visual cues. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine found that participants who used visual reminders, such as setting alarms or placing objects in visible locations, were 40% more likely to adhere to new habits compared to those who relied solely on memory or willpower. One famous inspiration case comes from Oprah Winfrey, who attributes much of her success to creating an environment filled with intentional cues and reminders. Whether it's vision boards that reflect her goals or maintaining spaces dedicated to reflection and mindfulness, Oprah's environment is carefully designed to align with her habits and aspirations. Here's another insight from someone who's got a lot of expertise. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, explains, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your environment is part of that system, acting as either a catalyst for success or a barrier to change. A well-optimized environment reduces friction, making positive behaviors easier and more automatic while minimizing the effort needed to resist temptations. For instance, if your goal is to limit screen time before bed, leaving your phone in another room removes the temptation altogether. Similarly, if you want to eat healthier, filling your fridge with fresh produce and clearing out junk food eliminates the need for willpower when hunger strikes. Someday, you should see for yourself that creating a supportive environment is about more than just willpower. It's about building systems that make success inevitable. By decluttering your spaces, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and using visual cues, you can design an environment that supports and reinforces your habits. Remember, your environment shapes your behavior, so set it up to align with the person you want to become. With intentional changes, forming habits becomes not just possible, but effortless. Start today by reimagining your surroundings and watch how your habits flourish. As was mentioned in one of the previous videos, tracking progress is one of the most effective ways to establish and maintain new habits. Whether through apps, journals, or physical planners, monitoring your habits creates a clear path toward your goals, offering both motivation and accountability. Let's explore why tracking matters, the tools available, and how visualizing your progress can help you stay consistent and celebrate your victories along the way. Tracking habits can be as simple or sophisticated as you prefer. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is finding a method that fits your lifestyle and preferences. Here are some popular tools. First, digital tools like Habitica, Streaks, and TickTick are designed to make tracking easy and engaging. These apps allow users to log their habits, set reminders, and track streaks. Habitica, for instance, gamifies habit tracking by turning your goals into a role-playing game, where completing tasks earns rewards and progresses your character. A study by Dr. Katie Milkman, a behavioral scientist at the University of Pennsylvania, found that people who used digital trackers were 30% more likely to stick to their habits. Apps provide convenience and accessibility, making it easy to update progress on the go. For those who prefer an analog approach, habit tracking journals and planners also offer a tactile and creative way to monitor progress. Bullet journals, for example, allow users to design custom habit trackers, incorporating both goals and reflections into their pages. This method not only tracks progress, but also encourages mindfulness about the process. Famous entrepreneurs like Richard Branson swear by physical planners. Branson has often credited his habit of writing down goals and tracking them daily as a key factor in his success. The act of writing physically reinforces commitment and adds a personal touch to the habit-forming process. And the last one, physical trackers like habit calendars or whiteboards provide a constant visual reminder of your goals. A simple calendar where you mark off each day you complete a habit can be surprisingly effective. The don't break the chain method, famously used by comedian Jerry Seinfeld, involves marking each successful day with an X and aiming to maintain an unbroken chain of marks. This visual streak creates a powerful psychological motivation to keep going. You probably agree that seeing progress in real time is a powerful motivator. Tracking your habits visually, whether through charts, graphs, or streaks, helps transform abstract goals into tangible achievements. Visualizing progress reinforces a sense of accomplishment, even for small wins, which builds momentum for continued effort. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine demonstrated that participants who tracked their progress visually were more likely to achieve their goals than those who didn't. The study found that visual tools like progress bars and charts reduced feelings of overwhelm, breaking goals into manageable steps and making success feel achievable. Imagine someone working toward running a 5K, logging every training session into an app that shows incremental progress, like distance covered or calories burned, provides instant gratification and a clear sense of growth. This visual reinforcement keeps motivation high, especially during moments of doubt. Tracking progress is about more than just logging data. It's also an opportunity to celebrate achievements along the way. Setting milestones, smaller goals within the larger habit, can create a series of manageable, motivating steps. For instance, if your goal is to meditate for 30 minutes daily, start with milestones like 5 minutes a day for the first week, increasing gradually. Each milestone reached reinforces the belief that larger goals are attainable. According to Dr. B.J. Fogg, a behavior scientist at Stanford University, celebrating achievements, even minor ones, triggers positive emotions, which reinforce the habit loop. It means that celebrating small victories is equally important. Fogg recommends simple celebrations like smiling, fist pumping, or saying, "Good job," aloud. These actions may seem small, but they create a lasting emotional connection to the habit. Consider Serena Williams, who is known for celebrating small victories during practice sessions. Whether perfecting a single serve or completing a tough workout, Williams acknowledges each success, which keeps her motivated and focused on long-term goals. The act of tracking habits taps into behavioral psychology by leveraging positive reinforcement and the power of accountability. When you track your progress, you're not just monitoring actions, you're creating a feedback loop that reinforces the behavior. Tracking also combats one of the biggest challenges in habit formation: invisible progress. Many habits, such as exercising or learning a new skill, don't show immediate results. Seeing a visual representation of your efforts fills this gap, providing evidence of improvement even when the benefits aren't yet obvious. So, by using habit tracking apps, journals, or visual reminders, you can turn your goals into achievable milestones and celebrate your journey along the way. Remember, small wins lead to big transformations, and tracking makes every step of the process visible and rewarding. Start tracking today and watch how it propels you toward success. Have you ever faced a setback that made you question your growth path? Setbacks are a normal part of self-improvement. How you handle these challenges is key to your long-term success. By understanding why setbacks occur and developing strategies to overcome them, you can maintain your motivation and build resilience to bounce back stronger. Setbacks often feel discouraging, but they're not a sign of failure. They're a natural part of progress. Psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, known for her work on the growth mindset, emphasizes that setbacks are learning opportunities, not reasons to give up. In her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, Dweck writes, "The path to success is rarely straight. It's how you handle the curves that determine your outcome." Can you imagine J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, faced multiple rejections before her first book was published? Despite the setbacks, she stayed committed to her vision, learned from each rejection, and adjusted her approach. Her resilience led to global success, proving that setbacks can be stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Understanding that setbacks are inevitable allows you to approach them with less fear and more curiosity. Instead of viewing them as failures, you can see them as opportunities to reassess, adapt, and improve. One key to overcoming setbacks is learning how to maintain motivation during difficult times. A study by Dr. Roy Baumeister, a social psychologist, revealed that self-control and motivation are like muscles. They can become fatigued, but can also be strengthened through consistent practice. Baumeister's research suggests that focusing on small wins after a setback can rebuild momentum and restore confidence. Let's say you've committed to exercising daily, but miss a week due to illness. Instead of trying to jump back into a rigorous routine, start small. Begin with a short walk or light stretching, and gradually rebuild your habit. Celebrating these small steps reinforces your commitment and prevents feelings of overwhelm. The film Rocky is a classic example of overcoming setbacks. The protagonist, Rocky Balboa, faces repeated failures in his boxing career, but uses each defeat as a lesson to improve. His ability to adapt, learn, and push forward demonstrates that resilience, not perfection, is the key to success. Self-reflection is a super helpful way to figure out why setbacks happen and how to avoid them down the line. A lot of times, setbacks are triggered by things like stress, tiredness, distractions, or just not being ready. If you can pinpoint what's causing these moments, you can tackle the real issues instead of just the surface problems. For instance, if you're trying to eat healthier but end up ordering takeout after a long day, the culprit could be exhaustion or not having a meal plan. Once you recognize this, you can prep meals ahead of time or opt for healthier takeout choices instead. One of the best ways to dive into self-reflection is through journaling. Take a moment to jot down what happened before the setback, how it made you feel, and what you might do differently next time. This can help you see things more clearly and come up with actionable ideas. Another great tool for self-reflection is the ABCD method, created by psychologist Dr. Martin Seligman. It involves breaking down an adversity you faced, figuring out your beliefs about it, looking at the consequences it had for you, challenging any negative thoughts, and then creating a more empowered perspective. By using this method, you can shift your view of setbacks from seeing them as permanent failures to viewing them as temporary challenges. Resilience, defined as the ability to bounce back from adversity, is a skill that can be cultivated through practice. It involves developing a mindset that embraces challenges, actively seeks solutions, and maintains a sense of optimism. A poignant picture of resilience comes from Michael Jordan, who is celebrated as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He famously stated, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Jordan's career was filled with setbacks, including being cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of allowing these moments to deter him, he used them as motivation to practice harder and pursue greatness relentlessly. To effectively recover from setbacks, it is essential to establish a recovery plan. This plan should start with assessing the situation to reflect on what went wrong and why. It is also beneficial to revisit your goals, reconnecting with your original motivation to remind yourself of their importance. Breaking down the next steps into small, achievable tasks can help rebuild momentum. Finally, seeking support by sharing your challenges with a mentor, friend, or support group can provide valuable guidance and encouragement during the recovery process. Through these strategies, resilience can be strengthened, enabling individuals to navigate challenges with greater confidence and determination. When working toward a goal, it's easy to become fixated on the outcome, whether it's losing weight, achieving a promotion, or mastering a skill. While outcomes provide direction, focusing solely on them can lead to frustration and burnout. Let's explore why process-oriented thinking is vital, how cultivating a growth mindset supports this approach, and practical strategies to stay engaged with the journey. Outcome-oriented thinking emphasizes the final goal, often disregarding the steps needed to get there. While having a clear goal is essential, focusing exclusively on the result can lead to impatience and disappointment, especially if progress feels slow. On the other hand, process-oriented thinking prioritizes the actions and habits required to achieve the goal, fostering resilience and motivation. For example, someone aiming to run a marathon might focus on completing the 26.2 miles. However, a process-oriented approach would emphasize daily training runs, proper nutrition, and consistent rest. By breaking the goal into smaller, manageable tasks, the process becomes more engaging and less overwhelming. Psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, renowned for her work on the growth mindset, underscores the importance of focusing on the process. In her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, she writes, "The process itself is what brings meaning and fulfillment." Dweck's research shows that individuals who embrace process-oriented thinking are more likely to persist through challenges and achieve long-term success. The growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning, is closely tied to process-oriented thinking. A growth mindset encourages individuals to view setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than as failures, making it easier to stay focused on the journey. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Edison's focus wasn't solely on the outcome of creating a working light bulb, but on learning from each attempt. He is quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset allowed him to persist and ultimately succeed. Statistics reinforce the power of a growth mindset. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that students with a growth mindset were more likely to embrace challenging tasks, leading to higher academic achievement. The same principle applies to habit formation. Viewing challenges as part of the process rather than as barriers helps build resilience and adaptability. Staying engaged with the process requires practical strategies that maintain the focus on daily actions rather than distant results. One effective technique is to set process-based goals. Instead of concentrating solely on the outcome, aim for goals that emphasize the actions you can take. A notable example of this approach is author Stephen King, who sets a daily goal of writing 2,000 words. By prioritizing the writing process over the end product, King has successfully penned over 60 novels, demonstrating that consistent effort can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Another strategy to cultivate a process-oriented mindset is to practice mindfulness. This involves being fully present in the moment and engaged with the task at hand. Whether you're exercising, cooking, or studying, mindfulness encourages you to shift your attention from the final goal to the current action. This heightened engagement not only enhances focus, but also makes the process more enjoyable. To incorporate mindfulness, try this practical exercise. During your next workout, concentrate on how your body feels with each movement instead of fixating on the number of pounds you want to lose. This practice fosters gratitude for the effort itself, making it easier to maintain consistency. Additionally, tracking small wins can reinforce the value of daily actions. For instance, if you're learning a new language, celebrate mastering 5 new words or completing a 15-minute practice session. These micro-achievements create a sense of accomplishment that motivates continued effort. Get simple advice. Instead of just fixating on the end goals, try focusing on the journey itself. It's not just about reaching that finish line. It's about enjoying the ride and making it last. When you shift your mindset to process-oriented thinking, You'll start viewing bumps in the road as chances to learn and grow. Plus, staying engaged with what you do each day makes every little win feel worthwhile. Just keep in mind that success isn't just one destination. It's a mix of daily actions that add up over time. So, concentrate on the process and let the results come naturally. Achieving lasting change starts with a strategic approach to habit formation, and the principles discussed earlier offer a comprehensive roadmap. Here's a synthesis of the best practical solutions. Change begins with manageable steps. Set small, achievable goals to minimize resistance and build confidence. For instance, start exercising by committing to just 5 minutes a day, gradually increasing as the habit solidifies. Shift your perspective to the daily actions that lead to success. Instead of fixating on the goal, engage with the journey. Use tools like habit trackers to celebrate small wins and reinforce progress, creating a positive feedback loop. Structure habits around triggers, routines, and rewards. Identify cues that prompt the behavior, establish a consistent routine, and reward yourself to make the habit more satisfying. For example, pair your morning coffee with 5 minutes of journaling, followed by a moment of self-recognition. Optimize your physical and social surroundings to align with your goals. Declutter spaces, remove temptations, and surround yourself with supportive individuals. Visual reminders like sticky notes or habit trackers keep your goals front and center. View challenges as part of the process, not failures. Practice self-reflection to identify triggers and adjust strategies. Build resilience by focusing on what you can control and starting small again if you stumble. Keep yourself accountable with tools like apps, journals, or physical planners. Visualizing progress, whether through streaks or milestones, boosts motivation and ensures that you stay on track. For emotional habits or stress management, integrate creativity into your routine. Activities like drawing, writing, or playing music can help process emotions and foster deeper engagement with the habit. Aim for consistency, but allow room for adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and a flexible approach ensures that occasional missteps don't derail your progress. Understanding your emotions and how they influence behavior is crucial. Techniques like journaling, meditation, and discussing feelings openly can strengthen self-awareness and enhance relationships. Believe in your ability to improve through effort and learning. A growth mindset encourages persistence and helps you view setbacks as opportunities rather than barriers. By implementing these strategies, you create a system that prioritizes action over perfection, consistency over intensity, and progress over immediate results. Habits profoundly shape the quality of our lives, and cultivating them calls for a thoughtful and sustainable approach. Start small, focusing on the journey rather than just the end goal. Embrace tools to monitor your progress, as these can inspire meaningful and lasting change. It's essential to remember that success isn't about achieving perfection. It's about the persistence to keep moving forward. Continuously show up, make adjustments, and grow along the way. Thank you for watching. If you found these tips beneficial, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical advice. Together, let's embark on the journey of building better habits, one step at a time.